I'm testing here at one of the most important spots on Amber Lake, carp fishing for quantity. That means a neutral feed mix with as many different corn flavors as possible to really give off some nice frequency. And the testing has already started. I've been at it for a while now, a good half an hour. The night has just passed, and even during the night, something was biting, but not nearly as much as during the day. Well, there's already a first little trophy in the mix. Gibble carp went in, and in terms of weight, even though this is about quantity, the fish, I'd say the bigger ones, between 5 and 8 kilograms, are actually already showing up. So it's not bad at all. And I've already tested quite a few aromas. And here we go on with the common carp. We're going to switch out the aroma in a second. Actually, we could already switch it now because I can already say these two aromas are running excellently at the moment. The third one needs to go too. It's only doing okay. We've only had 2 short small bites on that one so far. So let's just start. How do I do this? What am I actually doing here? I'll show you. It's really simple. Pop-up rig on corn. So 2 times pop-up rig corn. This is the setup, nothing more. And then the whole thing goes with a size 1 hook. You could go smaller if you've got an aroma that's already working and you want even more frequency. But I think size 1 is already pretty good. We don't want the really small fish, and as I said, with different flavors. I just start at the top. I've got all the flavors there are for corn. So now I just start at the top and test. For example here, banana. Yellow banana is on the 3rd rod, working really, really well. Blackberry didn't work at all. Cream fruit didn't work at all. Strawberry, on the other hand, worked very well. So we already have 2 aromas that work great, banana and strawberry. And now I just put on spice. So I've gone through the first row and landed on spice. That one wasn't so great either. Now I could try yellow spice again, and I think I'll do that too. I'll cast it again now. Just barely, only about 7 meters out. There's already a feed mix down there. We'll take a look at that in a moment. A feed mix that allows you to test so many flavors at once, all with just 1 feed mix. Let's move on. I just had strawberry on this one. Worked great. Now we'll switch this one to raspberry. Add the aroma and cast it right back out. And the 3rd one, here it is. Still has yellow banana on it. I'd say yellow banana. We got almost, well, let's say 80% of the fish on yellow banana. It worked really well. So that one's a solid option. I think banana yellow is currently working on various waters too. I just made a video recently at the Old Fortress. If you're up for that, go check it out. At the Old Fortress also worked great with banana. So of course we're changing this one too. We now have raspberry on 1 rod. That means we're going fishy now, moving away from all the fruit flavors and going with caviar. So we'll change the corn and dip to caviar as well. Cast the whole thing back out, gently, just about 7 meters. And now we wait a bit, but really not for long, because I'm after frequency here. I want nice high frequency, lots and lots of fish in a short amount of time. Ideally, more fish than minutes. So catching more fish than minutes spent here, that's what matters. And so I wait a bit. Boom, first result right away on caviar. And that's exactly how it should be, right? No long waiting if something's happening. Very good. Then we keep testing, see if it holds up. And while the other 2 rods aren't doing anything, well, we'll have to see. Might need to change those out at some point. But here on this rod, seems like it's off to a really good start again. On caviar. So the next flavor. Let's wait and see if there are more bites or not. We just need to wait a bit now, see what happens. It gets really interesting when you figure out which aromas work and then equip all 3 rods with effective aromas. Then you can fill up your entire cache in no time. Earn some solid XP, silver, and ideally even skill points for bottom fishing. So that really pays off. Look, shortly after, this rod here goes off too, with yellow spice. Aha, maybe yellow spice works better than red spice. Though of course we don't want those fish. Ideally we want big carp, maybe even rare ones. If we had an aroma that works for rare carp, that'd be perfect. Especially when you're going for quantity and catching a lot of medium and small rare ones, then it's even more worth it. Yeah, a little later, still going on this 1 rod. So far, most frequency is on caviar. But now we've also got the first bite on, well, also just a crucian carp. First bite on raspberry, also not what we want. Still need to test a bit there. And here again on spice, Okay, decent size, but as I said, not quite the same frequency as strawberry and banana just now. Still, look here on caviar, another really nice big one. 11 kilograms mirror carp, that's really nice. And straight back out again. The nice thing is with the neutral-based carp feed mix, you can test so many different flavors. The whole thing is still based, and I've said this in the last carp videos again and again, on the info from the last Q&A with RF4, that we try to test many baits with neutral feed mixes and try to choose the feed based on the fish species, not based on the bait. So not matching feed to the bait, but matching it to the fish species. Of course, that's a lot harder, but once you figured it out, you can vary much better. Because if you've got a matching feed for the fish, you can use different baits depending on the weather or mood for the same fish with the same mix. It's still working here. I'd say so far, banana, strawberry, caviar, pretty good. Spice, not too bad. But that's not enough for me, so I'm switching it out now. So that one's done. Caviar's in use. Now we're going with garlic and cast out right away and move on. And I'll also change raspberry here. Doesn't seem to be working too well right now. So raspberry goes out. Now I could test another raspberry version. This one's bright red, and as you can see, the other was more pink. So now I'll test the red raspberry. Maybe that one works better. And boom, off it goes again. The mix with garlic even brings in a white myrrh. Okay, that's crazy, but why not? Maybe the grass carp just felt like a green corn kernel with strong garlic aroma. And there goes the middle rod again. We had raspberry on it this time with the red corn. Maybe the red corn is more interesting. Question is, what fish are biting on it? If it's still just crucians, I'll change it out too. And still caviar yellow. I'll also change that now. It's working, but again, we're getting smaller stuff. Crucian again, so we'll change that to caviar, but now in red. Cast that one out again and test again. Same flavor, slightly different color. And here in the middle, still can't decide. Now it's on. Look, even one that's a bit bigger. Another armor. Okay, not bad, not bad. We'll gladly take that one. Why not? Straight back out again. Now let's look at the feed mix. What feed mix makes this kind of test possible, where you can test one aroma after another on corn? This is already a big selection of basic feed mixes. Let's take a look. Basic carp neutral. Exactly. That's the one I'm using here right now. Doesn't matter if it's dry feed or in ball form, whatever you can craft. That's not important. What matters is using feed for carp fishing. That's important, even if it's just a basic mix. Let's look at how it's made. That's always a bit easier. So this is what it looks like right now. Wheat bran is a base, a slightly higher quality version. You can also test with peas or corn. Then we've got corn in there, peas, wheat flour, because we've also got the wheat base. Just something from the supermarket. Maggots as a protein component. Always good. And then something fairly neutral, a corn liquor component as the aroma. With this combination, carp fishing works really, really well. You can use it for lots of different flavors. Attracts carp really well, and we make use of that. So feed up the spot, make sure more carp show up that maybe other fish go away, and then with that feed mix, try to catch as many different carp as possible with different aromas. So let's move on here. Let's see what else we can get. All rods now active. That's good. Still, for me, this isn't quite ideal. Ideally, I want a bait combo. Look here, leather carp is already not bad for rarer carp. I don't necessarily want common carp and mirror carp, but maybe leather carp, linear carp, or even albino carp. That would be really, really nice. What do we do if we know one aroma works great and we want to stick with it? Then we mix that one aroma into our feed. So, let's say banana worked well from the beginning, then we take this basic feed mix and just modify it at the bottom with banana aroma. That way we still have the same feed mix, but the whole direction shifts toward banana. And what we can also do, remove one component, say the wheat flour, and instead add banana feed pellets. If we use the smaller size, the 7s, those are the ones for quantity. If we use the bigger ones, then we get fewer fish but bigger carp. That's a decision we have to make. Big pellets for big fish, fewer bites, or small pellets for many fish but smaller ones. And like I said, using one component 3 or 4 times has the same effect as using it once. So that's how it goes here. By the way, in the meantime, I've already switched again. I'm now on coconut cream and just have to keep testing. By now, I've tested at least 6 or 7 aromas. I'm currently on aroma number 17. That's quite a lot, really fast. In a short time, 17 aromas tested. Banana worked, strawberry worked, spice worked, caviar worked, garlic worked. Now we're still testing. So 5 baits already worked on 1 feed mix. That's not bad, and I'll keep testing. There'll surely be at least 5 more that work too. That's how easily you can test baits at one spot. And if the weather changes, then it might be that the fish's preferences change too. That means we just test again. So if we are here at a different time under different weather conditions at the spot, well then you just test again. You have a neutral feeding area now, you just try it out. And if the spot eventually falls asleep after about 1 hour to 2 hours, it can be that the spot gets tired. And then for a good 2 hours of real life time, it's simply down. Then it has to regenerate a bit. But I don't leave this spot. Instead of casting 7 meters, I just cast maybe 15 meters, and then I can start the whole thing again at the same place. So here at this place, by the way, one of the top spots for float fishing too, because you can fish very close in the deep area, but also simply a top spot for mass fishing. So go to Amber Lake, go to all waters where it's about carp fishing. Test, test, test. If it helped you, leave a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It helps me a lot. And then we'll see each other in the next video or in the live stream, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, always from 7 p.m. Tight lines.